I mean, the all-seeing eye is just a representation of humanity's ability to reference its own thought. That becomes its own mythos. When I gotta use the bathroom. Use the bathroom. But humanity's mythos is just representative of its own ability of discerning itself. Like, humanity is always a flawed facsimile of itself. It's always a representation of what it could be as the ideal. It is never a representation of the ultimate ideal, and is never a representation of what humanity is perfected. Humanity has all sorts of ideas of what would matter if it was a perfected formation of itself, but actually it's just a mythos that it just constructs of itself, a constant procession of equivalent events that matter equally in importance. Everything has equal importance in an expanding universe, whether that importance is nothing at all or some significant value that can form intricate complexities onto itself that can fractal into greater and greater complexities of itself. That can integrate higher order functions of itself to represent its reality better or clearer. That shapes the ability of a planet to terraform itself. That shapes the ability of anything to represent itself. And that's just what life is itself. It's like life is the manifestation of potential energy. It's just the dropping to fulfill a destiny. It's just, if everything was predestined, if this phone was predestined to be this length from the distance of Earth, then even the Earth itself would be able to communicate that easily. Just even if it was stopping by. If it was an old, just tired, just doing this just to get out of it, just because it's a small trip past death. It's like the Earth will live beyond every semblance of human morality, every semblance of human mortality, every semblance of human intelligence. And that fact alone is incomprehensible. It can scramble the mind of anyone so that it becomes incomprehensible. It becomes a map unto itself. A story that unfolds and intersects with its own story and becomes a sort of complexified godhood that references itself. I am so entranced with godhood that's just the thing. That if you're alive, you want to be the godhood of what is alive. If you're an ant, you look at things in terms of anthood, in terms of how well this represents the ant kingdom. Like, ants believe they dominate the planet. Everything believes they dominate the planet. The planet believes it dominates itself. So if it incarnates as a lesser form of the planet, it dominates itself. Like, that's just I just accept certain things as premises that would exist beyond my current life form. I don't want to be out of mode. I want to be a la mode. Like, if omnipresence was a la mode, that's just instantaneous transmission. I understand that from anime. You just give me some time to study the dynamics of it. Like, if the universe wants to communicate to me, I want to communicate to the universe first, or second, or third, or whatever logical procession that happens to invoke itself and inscribe self-evident meaning to the dialogue. I don't want to dethrone anyone. I just want to manifest as my own sort of mentality. I feel like that's what everyone wants to do, and I feel like that's what I'm destined to do.